Good morning, everybody. We are back in our spot this morning. It was short-lived. We're back here. We're gonna check everything out, and it's just morning time now. I'm waking up. This, by the way, is where we sleep, up in the front of the motorhome. Mama's hiding. Madeline sleeps in the corner here, and normally speaking, Finney sleeps up here, but he's still in with us. Good morning. So we are going to check the injectors today and check the spark plugs and check ignition and check, there's a sensor that we're replacing, I forget what it's called now. So we're going to check that stuff out this morning when Gordon gets here, and it's still early. I'm still making coffee. Kids are still sleeping, but that's what we're going to do this morning. I haven't even had coffee yet. No, it's terrible. It's probably the first time I've made a video without having coffee. So anyway, we're gonna check all that stuff. Hopefully it's gonna run good. Like, the engine sounds good, but it's like stuttering and missing. It's an ignition issue of some kind. So 3 things you need for ignition: you need a spark, you need air, and you need fuel. And it's one of those, I guess, isn't working right. So it seems like this distributor is working fine because we are getting spark on each wire. Now, maybe the wires aren't hooked up to the plugs properly. Could be, although I don't think so. We checked that already. But the other issue could be just fuel. So we did have the air intake cover off. The fuel injectors are in there. Maybe when cleaning it we damaged one. Maybe one's just plugged up for whatever reason. Yeah, could be a bunch of different things. So hopefully we can sort that out this morning and then finally get on the road. Got a rabbit this morning.
Yeah.
Right there. Good morning, Mr. Rabbit. And a curious child watching a rabbit.
That's cool.
With bedhead. Where'd he go?
Right there.
There he is. Beautiful day. It's a little foggy, a little cloudy, I guess. Not foggy, a little cloudy. Looking over the valley this morning. No much sunshine there. Gonna try out the church roof here, put some water on it, see how that goes. Got my trusty coffee. Can't go without that. Wes is rolling up a hose. I have no idea why he's rolling up a hose. I guess for some reason he wants to roll up a hose. Why'd you roll up a hose?
So just to bring it over here so it's right.
Why didn't you just grab the end of it like we did before? Neither do I. Caulking job did not work. I shouldn't say that. It didn't fix the problem. Caulking was still a good idea. So we ended up determining it was still leaking here, and I added all this tar. Somewhere here, I could not find a hole anywhere. Somewhere here it was leaking. So I've added all this tar, and we are now going to try it again. So it was kind of odd because when I pointed it here, it wouldn't leak. When I pointed here, it would leak, but I could not find a hole anywhere. Alright, I told you I like a puzzle, and I still do, but this is frustrating. Well, yesterday, I pointed it in this direction and it was pouring in. Now it is not here. It looks like, I personally think whoever did this roof didn't do this right. I don't know if you can see here. So I have caulked all the way up here, but it looks like this caulking has let go on it. You can see a hole right in front of my fingers. So that goes back to my earlier suspicion that water is scooting underneath this trim and then going in. So when I pointed the hose up here, it was pouring in down there again. And at first I was like, dang, that's frustrating. What's going on here? But I think that's probably it. It's got to be coming in there yet. So there's a couple of holes. Somewhere else up here I seen a spot. Well, there's one right here, and then there's 2 there that aren't quite sealed. And maybe there's a couple more up there. Hard to see from here. Maybe over there. We're gonna let it dry off again. It's not gonna dry as fast in today like this, but we're gonna be here for at least a couple hours, probably at least till lunchtime. We'll let it dry up, and then we'll either put tar all the way up there like we did here. It doesn't have to come out this far, or there is some flashing that was picked up, and we can try to bend some pieces to fit in here. Underneath this flange would be recommended, I think. So we would lay the tar down on here and on here and stick the flashing pieces in under this. Start at the bottom, we'll probably cut 1 foot pieces, stick one down, one, boom, 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 all the way up to the top, and then that should prevent this. Hopefully. Maybe that's why the motorhome ain't fixed yet. God's like, nah, you need another day on that roof. Could be. Okay, so these are the injectors?
Yep.
Correct? And you say some of these holes are wet.
Maybe. I don't know. It don't look like it really much here.
Well, this looks damp in here a little bit.
These ones don't look too wet.
Those are dry. This guy looks wet.
Is it leaking?
No, I don't know. I can't really say that it is.
What about those that one up there?
Make my fingers wet. Oh, where do I put my hand?
This is cylinder 4 and 2.
What happens? Ready?
Yeah, these ones sprayed.
Did they
Yeah,
spray? Did any
these
of them
came. A
mist?
lot of fuel came out.
But did it mist out? Like,
Yeah.
did it shoot?
Yeah.
Watch it. Yeah, those look
Yeah,
good. Yeah, they look good, huh? No, that's not a problem. Then maybe your fuel pump's giving out, but I doubt that. Maybe it's those spark plugs are just jacked up. Let's put the intake back on.
Oh, you don't think it's that?
Nope.
Okay. So it looks like there was a couple of different issues. It wasn't the injectors. Check that out. Gordon says they look great. We did change the sensor in the throttle body. It would have been stuck closed, I think it would call it. So it's not getting enough air, basically just fuel. So that made it run a lot better, but it still didn't seem quite right. Number 1 cylinder. So I'll show you these things here. I don't know if you can see this shield here. So the spark plug is inside of here on the end of this right now. And this is a shield that's supposed to keep heat, protected from heat. And the spark plug wires, the boots, are really hard to get on with those shields in place. So we had that with cylinder number 3 in Montana. It was arcing because the wire wasn't all the way on. And personally, I suspect number 1, I barely touched number 1 wire and the wire came off. And all the other cylinders, I had to tug and tug and tug trying to get them off the spark plugs. Also, when I pulled the plugs out, number 1 spark plug is like spotless. It's beautifully clean, almost looks new. And the other 3 that I've pulled out so far all look like they've been used. So I suspect personally that it's misfiring. We are going to get different spark plugs. Gordon said there's better spark plugs we should be getting. So we're going to return these and get the better ones that are more appropriate for this engine, I guess. I did tell him what kind of engine I had at the AutoZone here, but he says they got me the wrong one. So hopefully that'll make it run better too, but I personally suspect that we're going to solve it just with that 1 spark plug by replacing that, and then the sensor, obviously that made it run way better. So hopefully we will be rolling here very shortly. I'm going to pull the rest of these plugs out. Gordon's getting a few things. We're going to look at the AC as well and get that rolling, and yeah, that's good, because the injector change would have been what did I say last night, 80 bucks a piece, I think, or something. 640 bucks to change all the injectors. So I'm glad they're working good. Yeah, keep pulling these apart and we'll hopefully get it running here shortly. All right, hopefully this does the job finally. Ended up tiring all the way up. Basically everything that I caulked before, I ended up tiring. The roof's got a bit of sponge to it here. Sorry for the wind, trying to cover it. The roof's got a bit of a sponge, and I think that's why the caulking let go, is when you step on it, it does move. So hopefully this tar will hold up, but I did it all the way up. I guess maybe I'll text them in a couple of weeks and see if they had a rainstorm, see if it leaked. Okay, so we were all showered up, we're ready to go. Even got my pretty clothes on, so is everybody else, ready to go. Still got no power. It's like it's still misfiring or something. So we're probably gonna be here a little bit longer yet until we figure this out. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Well, the phone wasn't even on. I said, as frustrating as it is, we're still in the same great place, and we have all the amenities that we have enjoyed for the last 2.5 weeks. So I mean, it could be worse. I'd rather here we have some more issues, then drive down the road for an hour or 2 hours and then have issues. Here we have, you know, everything that we've needed. We can stay as long as we like. Seems like nobody wants us to leave, actually. And we still have a great mechanic right here. I do not believe it's engine related. The engine just sounds really nice. But there's still something funny going on. It's got no power when we step on the gas. So he's suggesting a sensor. Actually, about an hour or more ago, he sent me a text suggesting that I maybe change the sensor down the road, because it's the one thing we did not change yet, and it's probably getting old as well. So I'm going to go get it right now. I forget what it's called. It's on the throttle body. There's 2 sensors on there. We changed the one but not the other, and so it's the other one I'm going to go pick up right now. Gordon's on his way back here again. He's going to take a look at it and see if we can figure out what's going on, and then also test drive it so he can feel the fact that it's got like no power at all. It's completely gutless. I still also think there's like a misfire or something. It ran good for a while, and then it just seemed like it's got like a little shake to it, like something's not firing right. What would that be? I'm not 100% sure. We put new plugs in. They're supposedly better. I don't know if it made a difference or not. That number 1 cylinder, I don't believe, was hooked up properly before, so I figured that was our issue. Maybe we again have a wire not hooked up. I checked them all. They seem like they're good. The other thing is that it could be the distributor. So that's a brand new distributor that we just stuck in back in Arizona, and I'm kind of leaning towards maybe it's not running right or something. I'm not really sure, but anyway, I'm gonna get the sensor and we'll see where we go from there.
Bounce, 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 bounce. Sleep here and then head back for the church. They'll be like, you're. Well, yeah.
Just sitting here at idle, and this guy's dancing a bit now. I wondered about these stupid things in the way. Tight. Hear that? That's fire. Yeah, they're all melting right away.
This one's still in the same spot.
Yeah, but so every now and again, the clanking noise. Okay, I can't get over the speed. I'm trying. It ain't moving. Okay, I'm gonna get it to drop a gear. I got that pedal right to the floor. And it won't move. Slowly but surely accelerating. This is not, it's never been like this. But it was like this when we were running on 7 cylinders, and I still wonder if there's something wrong with the distributor cap, because it feels like it's running on 7 cylinders again. We were totally gutless. I went down and fixed the wire, and boom, we were off to the races with lots of power. This feels like 7 cylinders. Climbing this teeny weensy little hill here right now, and I'm dropping. I still got my pedal down. I'm dropping down, slowly getting slower. We're just at this hill here. You probably recognize it. Down to 40. Do not pass. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Still dropping. Will not go. Finally dropped down a gear there, but I don't want to push it too hard. Yeah, it's dropped down a gear, trying to get it to move. I really don't want to push this engine too hard though. It doesn't want to move. Made it up this little hill here and dropped all the way down to 25 mile an hour from 50 that I had before I got up to this hill. We're right here. Now it's slowly accelerating again. We're coming back up. I don't think we're gonna make it. I can smell fuel. It's just bogged right out. I'm down to 10 mile an hour. I can't make it up this hill.
Here we are. Engine's in. And we're sitting on the hill. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Guess our excitement was for nothing, eh?
Yeah.
Kind of frustrating,
Have
eh?
to stay positive though, right?
Yeah. It's very frustrating. We have no idea now what's going on with this thing. We went to the next town just to test drive it, and now we're stuck on the hill at the church. We're heading back to the church. We're stuck on the hill, and it won't run. I don't know. No idea what's going on now.
So I put crayon on. I don't know if you can see the orange there on the wire, but if you see there's a gray line, gray dot, gray line, gray line. Anyway, I was reading online. Now I can't show them all here, but all of them have it. I put a little bit of crayon on them to see, and it's a telltale sign of what's working and not. And you see there's a gray dot and a gray line, and that one is still orange, and that one is still orange. So most likely those are not hot enough to melt them, and therefore most likely those two are misfire. Now everything appears to be hooked up. I think it's this distributor cap or the distributor underneath. Regardless of that, we are stuck on this hill halfway up. Not the greatest place to be.
And church is almost over.
Church is almost over, so Gordon should be out of church shortly, hopefully. Alright, it is late at night. We're laying in bed, and I got thinking something, maybe the firing order, something's wrong. I don't understand what it is. And so I looked at the firing order again, and maybe I can put a diagram on the screen here, get Anissa to. But all of a sudden it dawned on me that something's wrong, because I unhooked a couple of wires, and if I unhook those wires, I'm not making any sense. Anyways, whatever I discovered made me decide to open this up and look again. So I did, and like I said earlier, you can see the paint on number 8 and number 6. That is cylinder number 6, and this is cylinder number 8. And I follow these wires back. Okay, so this is 8, goes up here, goes up to this guy, and goes to there. Now if you can make that out, that is number 6. Right here is number 6. And the other one, which is this guy, is cylinder 6. is hooked up to this one, which is cylinder number 8. So 6 and 8. So when Gordon put these plugs in, he must have messed these 2 wires up. So hopefully that is a quick solution. But basically that means that number 6 and number 8 are not firing when they're supposed to be firing, which would be why that crayon is still there, because they're not heating up the way they're supposed to. Basically means I was running on a 6-cylinder engine, which would explain why I had 0 power. And then to top that off, this wire here from cylinder number 4 was up against the exhaust manifold. Where is it? And melted. So we discovered that on the way up the hill. It died on the way up the hill to the church. I couldn't even get up. This one was melted. It was arcing out. You can see on the manifold where it was arcing. So that was messing that up. And these 2 were not firing. Essentially that turned this thing into a 5-cylinder engine. Alright, I'm not going to be able to solve that till tomorrow. Everybody's sleeping in here basically. So I will play around with that some more tomorrow, but I think I can go to sleep now. I think I've got that part solved. And hopefully tomorrow morning, that's the only issue. We're going to need new plugs or new wires. Better wires, because these ones melt out. And we're going to get the firing order right. And then I think we're going to make some miles. Good night.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I've become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. I think it's time for me